My name is Lindsey Diaz, and I am a junior majoring in biological sciences with a concentration in human biology. My research project was on finding non-destructive ways to sample parchment, which is a writing surface made from animal skins used during medieval times. And so we're using genetic tools to study parchment, the people that used parchment, its history, while still preserving documents with cultural significance. And what drew me to this project in the first place was the fact that it was so hands-on in the lab and that I wasn't just, seeing these procedures and techniques that I had seen in the lecture hall, but I was also doing them myself. All of my research experiences thus far have been through talking to another NC State student. So my first experience was the Duke Star experience, and I was encouraged to apply because one of their alumni was in my biology class. And so I just asked about the program and I was motivated to apply. And then for this parchment project, I had kept in contact with an upperclassman I met during my orientation at NC State. And when I was looking for an opportunity here on campus, I asked them if they had done research, and then that just opened a whole new door to opportunities for me to work in the Mycodrone lab. My faculty mentor always kind of looked out for me and pushed me out of my comfort zone, but in a positive way. So in the lab, I would be taught a procedure, and then I would try it on my own with supervision, and then I was led on my own so I could kind of gain confidence in my own skills. And another thing was that she was always scouting for opportunities for me to present my research. So I had the opportunity to present in a variety of different settings, which also helped me gain confidence in presenting. Asking people in my field was the biggest leverage because sometimes searching and reading about an experience or program is one thing, but when you hear it by word of mouth from a student, it can give you an idea of what the actual lab or program is really like. Communication to me is the biggest one because I had the opportunity to present to so many different audiences, both with a genetic background, with no genetics background, to students, to faculty, to professors, and that allowed me to learn how to present information in a way that they were able to understand. And I also had to do it in a variety of different formats, so from poster to PowerPoint presentations to like 3-minute talks. And that taught me how to know my audience and then tailor my information in a way that they would receive it without kind of skipping over any important information. And I see that in my future career as beneficial because there's a big gap today in the world between kind of science and the people. And I could, know information or think this is important, but unless I'm able to communicate it, then we won't be able to advance. This research experience helped me realize that I'm not just passionate about like science and biology, but also about communicating it. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do specifically, but I know that wherever I go, I'm going to somehow be like also communicating and teaching information, presenting it in a variety of ways. Because like for me personally, when I see information and scientific information today is mostly presented through like research papers, which is like a lot of words and a lot of reading and is overwhelming for me. And like I learn a lot through pictures and things like that. So I think that I also enjoy being able to take information, translating it in my own words, and how that might also help someone else, whether it's through images or through presentations or auditory learning. And so finding different ways to communicate science information to people. My advice would be to be okay with doing something that is not in your specific field. And hear me out on this one, because my research project was also not like specifically related to the medical field or anything like that. But that was, to me, kind of the biggest advantage, because sometimes when we're only around people in our specific field with our expertise, we're unable to communicate with people who have different levels of expertise or are in a different field. So I had exposure to like historians and English professors and both the humanities and sciences side. And so by being in a setting that's not exactly what you wanted, you're also learning how other people think, how other fields think, and that can help you learn how to communicate and collaborate with different fields.